Listen, I ain't got no beef, no enemies. Call all my haters motivators, cause they can't touch me. Been in this business for a minute, that's a long time. If you was looking for me, you can find me on my grind. I'm on a mission, no competition for this rap king. I bet you took my crown and must have happened in your dreams. I'm about to make the world feel me.
Greetings, YouTube. Allow me to back at Tifton right here at the Green Zone Garden Channel here in Grow Zone 8B right here in Tifton, Georgia. In today's video, YouTube, we're going to give you guys a quick look at the growth progress of our Idaho Russets in our backyard bucket garden. As you guys may recall from the video series on our Idaho Russets, we planted 2 original buckets of Idaho Russets in our backyard bucket garden. And once we saw how well those 2 original 5-gallon buckets of Idaho Russets seem to be doing in our backyard bucket garden, we were inspired to plant 2 more buckets of Idaho Russets, and we're going to show you guys what the growth progress looks like on our original crop of Idaho Russets in buckets and our secondary crop of Idaho Russets in buckets right now. Take a look at this, YouTube. Indeed, YouTube, indeed. These are our 2 originally planted buckets of Idaho Russets. We're going to show you guys what they look like right now, YouTube. Take a look at this. Bam. Aren't they looking well, YouTube? As you guys can see, they have grown almost a foot higher than the rim of the 5-gallon buckets that we have them currently planted in. I'll show you guys what the soil level looks like in these buckets right now. As you can see, it's roughly halfway full right now in both of our buckets. We're going to come back today in this video, remove some of these lower branches and foliage down here in our plants down here, and bring our buckets up to nearly the rim of these buckets on our original 2 buckets of Idaho Russets. This, YouTube, this is indeed our secondary crop of Idaho Russets in buckets. You're going to notice an immediate difference in the foliage on our secondary crop than what's currently going on with the foliage on our first crop. Take a look at this, YouTube. Bam. As you may notice, the foliage on our secondary crop of Idaho Russets is indeed much greener, much darker green than the foliage on our first crop of Idaho Russets in these 2 5-gallon buckets here. The second thing that you guys may notice is that, YouTube, we have blossoms. We have blossoms on our secondary crop of Idaho Russets. Not sure why we have so many blossoms on our second crop versus only a couple of blossoms on our first crop of Idaho Russets here. However, same thing, YouTube. As you can see, our plant height has completely outgrown our soil level. We're going to come back, trim away a lot of that foliage down in the lower parts of these buckets, and come back and bring our soil level up to nearly the rim on our secondary crop of Idaho Russets as well, since indeed, YouTube, they have indeed grown well past the top of these 5-gallon buckets and well past the height of our first crop of Idaho Russets. We're going to get these buckets filled right now. Once again, we're going to come through and trim that lower foliage back. You don't need that foliage down in there. As you can see, it's dying down in there, only draining more nutrients from our plants. All we really need is the top portion of these plants. We're going to get this bucket, and this bucket filled nearly to the rims with our favorite brand of Miracle Grow potting mix. We'll bring you guys back shortly. Hang tight, YouTube. All right, YouTube, indeed, this pile of foliage you see here is the foliage that we removed from the bottom of our plants in all 4 of our buckets. I'm going to take you guys down the line, bucket to bucket, and show you what the plants in our buckets currently look like with that excess foliage removed. And then bring you guys back once we begin to actually bring our buckets up to about this level here with our Idaho Russet potatoes. Take a look at this, YouTube. You can actually see the soil down in these buckets now, YouTube. As you can see, we trimmed away all of that excess unnecessary foliage that would have indeed gotten covered up by the soil had we left it on there. We didn't need that foliage. We knew that foliage would die. Plus, removing that excess foliage really took a lot of the strain off of the root system to all of our potato plants here, and we'll give our potato plants a chance to actually put some of that energy that it was dumping into all that excess foliage into producing some potatoes here in our buckets. This is what our second bucket looked like on YouTube. But again, in the second bucket, you can, as you can see, you can actually see the soil down in this bucket down here. And same thing, we hacked away all of those unnecessary branches along the lower half of the stems of our potato plants here. Third bucket, as you can see, we have far more plants that developed in these buckets than in these buckets over here. We actually removed a lot of the shorter plants from this bucket that we knew would be covered up by the soil if we had we left them in there. As you can see, you can indeed see the soil down in this bucket as well. Now finally, we're going to bring all of our buckets, due to the fact that they're about the same height above our 5-gallon buckets, we're going to bring all of our buckets up to, again, about this level here with all of our Idaho Russet potatoes. This YouTube, this is indeed our third bucket, and same scenario with this one. We removed a lot of those shorter potato plants that we knew would be far below the soil and would indeed die anyway had we left them on our plants out here. We'll come back again with these buckets as well and fill these buckets up to about, again, this level here with our Idaho Russet potatoes. We're not going to bore you guys with that step, but we will bring you guys back once we get all 4 of our buckets filled to that level and show you what all 4 buckets of our Idaho Russet potatoes look like at that point. Hang tight, YouTube. And indeed, YouTube, indeed, this is what our Idaho Russets in 5-gallon buckets from our backyard garden, bucket garden, are currently looking like after we remove a lot of the excess foliage from these buckets and filled our buckets the rest of the way up with our favorite brand of gardening soil, that Miracle-Gro potting soil. Take a look at this, YouTube. Bam. As you can see, YouTube, as you can see, we did indeed fill our buckets up again to about this point in all 4 of our 5-gallon buckets. And indeed, our Idaho Russets do look a lot better. A lot of that excess foliage trimmed away from the buckets, and with the buckets completely filled with potting soil at this point. What we're going to do now, YouTube, is return our Idaho Russet 5-gallon buckets to our backyard bucket garden, water them in good, and we'll bring you guys back for another update on our backyard bucket garden and our Idaho Russet potatoes in about 2 weeks. Thanks for watching, YouTube, and if indeed you currently are watching this video and you're not already subscribed to the Green Thumb Gardening channel, please take this moment to press that subscribe button beneath this video, that like button, that notification button, and be sure to share this video with your friends and family as well. Yeah, our first crop and our second crop of Idaho Russets in 5-gallon buckets. Thanks for watching, YouTube.
Ain't out here dissing, I ain't got no beef, no enemies. Call all my haters motivators, cause they can't touch me. Been in this business for a minute, that's a long time. If you was looking for me, you can find me on my grind. I'm on a mission, no competition for this rap king. I bet you think my crown, it must have happened in your dreams. I'm about to make the world feel me like the last time. So I make the microphone smoke when I say what's on my mind. It was 8 years ago when I first hit the rap scene. It was 2019 and I got the whole world listening. They gather around me to keep it warm from all the heat I bring. And I tell you some, so why y'all haters out there hating me? Why y'all hating? 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 remind me of Frankie Beverly and May. So I'm taking you back when rap was real in the old days. More than a man, I'm like a lion trying to expand. And the world's against me, so I came up with a different plan. No more 9 to 5 working for the other man. And don't trust the media, my destiny is in my hand. Done came a long way from where this lion first began. Won't let nobody make me hate the color of my skin. No matter where we're from, America is where we live. And I hear this and others, but I'ma tell it like it is. Everybody say they praying for some better days, but this world will never change until we stop the hate.